Steve.
Hi, Brooke.
Oh, you're right. It is me. It's Brooke.
Yeah, it's Brooke. And it's
Who are
Stevie.
you again?
Hi, I'm Stevie.
Great. Okay,
Okay,
I'm
cool.
so glad you're here.
Yeah, of course.
I literally am though. And then what are we doing here, Steve?
I don't know. I guess we're going to talk about loss.
Oh, okay. You're right. I remember now. My bad.
Yeah, for sure. And what are we?
Oh, we
are
this and we are
the
Help
Podcast.
Coming at ya.
Breaking it down.
Yeah.
Austin style.
Austin, Houston, Oklahoma style.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh, Brooke.
Like, it's flavorful. It's complex, okay?
Don't forget Oklahoma.
Listen, we break it down hard there, so that's not true at all.
That's funny. All right, y'all, check it out. We are changing it up today. I know that we've had like a couple guests in the past, but today, what do we?
Yeah, the last like 2 weeks, right? Have been
Yeah.
guest weeks.
Yeah.
I can't keep up anymore, but
I can't.
that sounds right.
They're starting to blur together. But since we haven't done a one-on-one with just Brooke and Brooke and I love you.
I love
Sorry.
you. I know. I'm so excited. We're
but-
getting back to our roots.
Yeah, we're getting grounded with y'all. So we're actually, our topic today, do you want to introduce it, Brooke?
Sure, I will.
Okay.
Today we're going to talk about loss, which I will say was your idea.
Oh my gosh.
Stevie.
You're putting it on me, man.
No, I'm not going to put it on you. I think it's a great idea. And
Okay.
I think that our different, and obviously we'll get a little further into this, but our different levels of like what
Yeah.
sort of loss that we've had in our lives and like how we've dealt with it can hopefully just like be an illustration, if you will.
Illustration.
Will you?
I love that word.
An illustration
Yes.
of like the different forms of loss and trauma. Oh, pain is pain, and like we experience it like the thresholds are different, and like you
Yes.
can only understand certain amounts, but like everybody feels pain, and like your loss or your pain is not any. I deal with this a lot because I'm like, you bitch, like you've had like
No,
a charmed life, like
hey, but they to each its own.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I've actually done like a little bit of reading on like big trauma, like big T trauma and small T trauma, because I'm like I feel a lot of like shame about the fact that I am like the ways in which my mind is a little bit messed up. Like I didn't really go through that much, you know, like it's not like I had this
still,
like
and it's weird,
huge-
but that's also like a coming from a comparative, like
Exactly,
comparing.
exactly.
That's when it goes wrong. It's just like, okay, well, this was just mine.
Yeah,
You
and you
know?
can't, like, you just can't do that. And I've read a lot of things that are like, look, your pain is your pain, your trauma is your trauma. You are gonna feel to the threshold of what you felt, and like that you don't have to feel shame for that. So
Yeah.
so that's a precursor.
Okay.
to
So
what we're
if
gonna
y'all
do.
feel like that, you know.
So like stop, don't shame yourself.
Yeah,
Which
I
is like
wonder.
something I could tell myself every morning when I wake up.
Well, it's also like sometimes I tell myself, I'm like, well, you know, I live in America. I won the jackpot on that. But
Yeah.
then-
The birth jackpot. Yeah.
I'm not sure if that would be like a dismissive thing, or is
What do
it?
you
I
mean?
don't know. Instead of just taking it at face value, you're just comparing it to something. Are like
Yeah,
are
that's true.
counterbalancing it, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Like you're dealt the cards that you're dealt, and like you can't.
Yeah, and does that not like give?
Looking at other people's cards is not going to help you out. I mean, it might, but
Yeah,
it
well,
might in real game of what's the game?
Game of Thrones.
Poker.
Game of Poker. I don't know why I wanted to say Thrones.
You're like, oh, Game of Thrones. I know
Thrones.
that one.
I thought you were about to make a Game of Thrones reference. Okay. I don't
Listen.
know. Obviously, my brain did not connect there.
Did you watch Game of Thrones?
No, I only watched a couple of seasons, and I was gonna wait for Bran, but
Oh,
You
there's
know?
a Bran in the show, so
oh yeah, he
It's
was a
full
real big
circle.
fan.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Um,
I did try to act like I kind of was, but I never really was.
no, not that into it. I mean, I watched the first couple of seasons, and then now this is a Game of Thrones podcast. I watched the first couple of seasons, and then spoiler alert. I can't spoil it. You're here too. So
Wee-oo, wee-oo, wee-oo.
They kill off a character that I just was like,
I think
I'm out.
You know what? If you say disclaimer, I'm like, I already know, because like everybody just made it. They were so emotionally affected
about Hodor.
Oh
shit.
No. Okay, obviously I don't know.
Oops. Spoiler alert on the back end though. Sorry about that.
All right.
You'll be fine. There's bigger plot points.
We'll bring it back in though.
Oh, speaking of loss, like when I lost Hodor, I was like, this is it, I'm done. I literally felt, do you have that with TV shows? Like you get so emotionally invested, or movies even?
Yeah, sometimes, there are TV shows. Sometimes if I'm just like, let's just watch a trash TV show right now, which is really rare because I feel like I waste my time doing that. I'm like, oh, I feel toxic even after watching this. But yes, I get like angry.
Yeah. I'm like if somebody dies, like you're like, I have lost someone here. Like
I'm like, I need to call Sandra from the show. I need to talk to her right now. And I'm phone her
Yo,
in.
Sandy, what was this about?
You knew. You shouldn't have left the house yet. You left him home alone. All right? Now, I'm not saying it's your fault, but, you know.
But maybe it is. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
See, these are the different ways we can feel loss and grief.
We got to bring it back together.
Television shows, relationships.
Ice cream.
When all of your ice cream is gone, that's also a very sad moment.
Okay.
Bring it back.
Brooke, on a real note, or maybe you can ask me, but like, what was like a moment for you of something maybe you felt lost?
Yeah.
Significant amount of loss.
So this will be a first take for you, I think. I don't know if I've told you this yet.
Oh, are you serious?
Get ready.
I don't know if I'm offended or excited. No, I'm feeling a jumble of emotions.
It's very recent, so
okay.
Yeah, and I just have been busy, so
Brooke. Oh my god. Okay, sassy.
What? Like, and this is just like general, like I think a lot of people will be able to understand this. So like a few weeks ago, the relationship that I was in ended. Yeah. And it was like mutual, whatever. I probably shouldn't talk about it on the podcast, but it's fine. So, I, of course, had the 10-year-long relationship that was like back and forth. And I experienced like breakups and like different versions of loss there. But it was so like the whole thing was just like a jumble and like unhealthy, and none of the things were really processed. So with this, like, it was fine. It was mutual. There's like mutual respect there. And like, it wasn't because like, it just, things weren't working. It wasn't because we didn't like each other anymore. Mm-hmm. But, it is just like this moment of, it feels like that person isn't there anymore, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's like a loss of a friendship as well as a relationship. And I'm doing my best to do it the healthy way this time. Yeah. Because I hopefully have grown in those ways in the last 10 years. Knock on wood. But like, we haven't spoken, and I literally have found myself like going through these different stages of what I feel to be like grief or loss. Mm-hmm. And it's been very shocking. Like I didn't really expect it to happen. Like, I knew it would be sad, but I didn't know to like what level. But like when I realized it was happening, it was probably like a full day afterward, and I was driving to work, and I just felt this like insane, like almost like an elephant was like sitting on my chest. Like,
oh, that's the worst. Just like something you couldn't put your finger on it, but something was there. I hate that feeling. That is the worst feeling.
Like your chest is like hollow, but like
you're missing something. I get it.
Yeah, exactly that. And I was like, whoa, like I'm feeling this big time. Like I must be going through some stuff. So I've like just been super in tune with all of my emotions and like running through like what things could possibly be. It's funny because before you mentioned this, like I was looking up like stages of grief to see, to like corroborate.
You're analyzing your situation.
Exactly.
You're like, where am I? Okay, because I'm trying to be at the end here, and I feel like I'm on level step one.
Now I found out that now they say like it's not stages. Like you can feel them. You won't go exactly through this like perfectly timelined out thing. Like you'll feel different things at different times. It's not a
narrow path. It's like jumping around.
Yeah, and it's different for everybody and different for every situation.
So it's a bunch of boxes to check off.
Yeah, all right, we got that one down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just felt like very like not involved for a couple of days. Like I was just kind of detached and like it wasn't constant. It wasn't like all 24 hours, but it would like come and go where I just was like, I just didn't really give a shit about other things. And it was like, just cause like this emptiness or like sadness was like taking over. So it was like, I was able to be present. I was able to like be myself and like joke around and stuff. But like for the most part, like I just felt like detached from everything. And then it turned into like this thing where I felt because I'm so used to like breaking up with somebody and then like still talking to them and not like
maybe not it being so finalized
and like apart. And I started getting angry. Like I started getting like,
that's a very I would never suspect that
of me. I know. So my therapist was like, tight, that's like great that you're allowing yourself to like feel that anger and understand where it's coming from. But I realized that it was like this feeling of like abandonment. Like I felt like we had been so close and had this like supportive relationship or friendship, and it was just gone. And I was kind of like attributing that to him. Like, oh, he's just left me. He doesn't give a shit about me. He's just going to abandon me and like my feelings.
That's the worst feeling. Oh my gosh, I hate that. Yeah.
Not check in with me, not wonder like, how dare he just leave me? Like, he must not have cared about me.
You're like I kick down a door.
Yeah, which is not like, he's got his own thing that he's moving on from things, whatever. So it's just like this way that I'm looking at it. But yeah, so those so far, like, and like now in the last couple of days, I've gotten like, you know, just a general feeling of like being alive back and like, oh, okay, like some hope of like, all right, everything's gonna be fine. I'm evening out here. I'm excited about life again. Like, all right, we're gonna be okay. But anyway, that's my most recent tryst with loss.
Yeah, I can't believe I haven't heard about it, but a couple weeks ago.
Girl, it's been not yesterday, but the Saturday before.
Yeah.
So it was like a rough, like.
I didn't even expect that. But I also don't know the ins and outs of your relationship.
Yeah.
I haven't even met him. I don't even know. Not that I'd like need to meet him.
Yeah. Well, you ain't going to now, so don't hold your breath.
I know. I know.
But I mean, it was fine. Like, it was amicable. Like, it just, like, long term. Like, I need to work on some things personally and didn't have, like, the time to give that the relationship needed. And, I think just, like, it was the right decision across the board. But it's hard, man.
Well, and it's kind of amazing. It's, you know, because when, in my experience of breaking up, it's, like, tumultuous, you know?
Yeah.
You know, like, you're in turmoil, okay? We are not getting along, okay? But yours is mutual, which is really cool to kind of. And like, I guess we'll be friends, like, not anytime soon, but, like,
down the line.
Maybe a year I'll check in how you're doing, you know? Like, and it won't be weird.
Exactly, yeah. And that's my problem is, like, I feel I have such a hard time, like, sitting with those feelings because I don't know how to do that. That my breakups in the past, and I haven't had a ton of, like, I've had the one really long term, but other than that, I haven't had a ton of, like, more serious relationships, but I definitely haven't ever had one that ended, like, bad. They've all been kind of mutual or, like, fine or whatever. So like I have a hard time. Like, I feel maybe I would even do better if one ended bad, because then I'd be able to, like, all right, fine, this is not, like, a great situation, so I can remove myself from it. But I find myself, like, I don't know if it's, like, the people pleaser in me or what, but I think part of it is it's easier for me to connect, like have a deep emotional connection with a romantic partner than it is for me with just like friends, because
really
I'm fucked up. But
it's okay, because I could tell you a few stories. I'm like, man, these people not want to be my friends either, but it's okay. It's okay. But
I think I just like, I didn't like necessarily, because my family is not super like emotional or like touchy-feely.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that my outlet for that was always like who I was dating.
Oh, okay.
So now I'm like trying to relearn now. Like that's kind of a focus of mine, is like how to like actually connect with friends, like in sort of on the same level that I feel myself doing with romantic partners.
Yeah.
Because like I have had multiple friends leave my life and been like, meh, whatever. But now, and which makes me realize like, oh, I gotta like give my friends the same amount of respect and like vulnerability that I give to romantic relationships too. Yeah. Because they gonna leave, but my friends will be around for a little bit longer. So anyway, you know.
Well, dang, I feel like I'm talking to a new person.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you girl, you leveling up on the low. I see you out there. I'm so awkward about
No, you're not.
It's like the biggest thing that I've ever lost was my mom.
Yeah, which is huge.
Crazy.
A very large loss.
Well, and you know what? Like, I think people have an idea, and I didn't realize this before this happened to me. And people think there's like a process for grieving. I don't think it always completely heals, and I think there's just a way to live with it, you know? Mm-hmm. You know? Mm-hmm. Even if that means without.
How old were you?
Oh, wow. I don't even know. I don't know. That's a weird thing. Like, people will be like, maybe you would like to know those important facts.
Oh,
I like, what time?
And you're
no, I was literally, that year was a blur for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know what's so weird, Brooke? I don't think we knew each other, but it happened when I transferred to Topgolf in Austin.
Okay, so it was like right before we met each other.
Yeah, it's like when it first opened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shit.
And I don't think
so. You would have.
I didn't like take any days off. I just went back to work and kept training.
Damn, girl, you would have been like 19, 20?
Yeah.
Damn, that's so young.
Yeah. Well, and I just went to work, and Topgolf's so nice, y'all. They sent flowers to my mom's funeral from Topgolf. So I know, and they were so sweet and loving. I continued on, but I think
so you didn't like, were you coping with it in that moment of like, I'm just gonna go back to work? Like,
I just when I was at work, I was numb to it even happening. Yeah, I was acting normal. But when it wasn't, I don't know, like if it, yes, of course it hit me, like, so how it had happened, y'all, check it out. So I talked to my mom pretty frequently at the time period, and I had called her, and she was being silly, like she was cleaning the house, and my mom was just kind of jumping around the place. Yes, Maggie, I love her too.
Goodness.
Who let the dogs out? Go, Maggie, it's your cue.
Good old Maggie the podcast dog. Hot mess.
That's so funny. That was perfect timing, actually. Thank you, Maggie. Snap back in the game, Steve. Okay, back in action.
Okay, your mom was being silly.
Yeah, and I called her, and she was kind of frantic, and she was like overwhelmed with everything that was going on, but all she was doing was cleaning the house. But it was like my mom, and I sometimes have that quality where you just like are spinning in circles around yourself. Yeah. You're just exasperating yourself, you know, you overwhelm yourself. And so I was laughing on the phone call, and I told her, I was like, Mom, I just called to tell you I love you. Aww. And she goes, I love you too. Like, I'm going to call you back. And I go, promise? And she said, yes, I promise. And then we hung up. And a day or two after, my sisters, y'all, this is going to be crazy, okay? This is crazy for y'all out there that...
Get your popcorn, get ready.
Get your popcorn, because if you have family members, like, I feel like there's a deeper connection that maybe people aren't aware of. But, like, a day or two, we had never asked each other stuff like this before. We have a group text. We started asking each other, have you talked to Mom? Have you talked to Mom? So we did it for, like, 2 days. Mm-hmm. And we couldn't get a hold of her. Anyways, she had...
Did she live on her own?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And my sister, we're all kind of, there was like a point where it was like a long period of time where it was like a realization. It was like double whammy.
Yeah.
Like something is wrong.
Yeah.
And we know it, but nobody had told us. We were like in investigative. We were all like
something's going on.
Yeah, like who's gonna go to her house? Like who's gonna drive there? Because we didn't live close to her. And this is the first apartment that I had, but my sister called me, and it was like, she was like, this happened to Mom. And I remember I just fell on the floor in fetal position, and I cried. I didn't move. And that had to be, I know, but it was like, and it's crazy to think that we knew before anybody could have told us. We knew, we knew it in our gut. It was like that connectedness of family to even think about that. And of course, all my sisters and I, we cry, and we still cry to this day. We talk about funny times, but I don't know, I don't think people heal completely. And it's not like a sad thing. It's just that pure loss, that pain. But that's
your mom.
That's your mom.
That's your person that
she gave birth to me. Exactly. I wouldn't be here. That's my mama. That's my mama.
That is not something that you just get over and are fine with.
Yeah, and I don't think and I think I don't know. When you love people, I think maybe even so you can experience a depth of that kind of pain. You know what I mean? When you love people, yeah, of course. But I think there's an idea of grieving that there's a wall and that's where it ends. But when it comes to people you love, there's going to be moments in your life where you're like, oh, I want to share this with them.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a constant kind of reminder, though you're grateful for the time you become more grateful of everybody, and it kind of freezes time to just help you realize what is important to even begin with.
Yeah.
But for real, it's just crazy. It's crazy. There's still moments till this day, me dancing in my car, and I'm like, who would be dancing with me? I'll be her backup dancer. It would be my mom.
Aww,
you know what I mean?
Mama.
But yeah, she was such a cool cat, man.
What was your mom's name? I feel
Becky.
Becky. Yeah.
We're we used to call her Beck.
We're
like, Beck, get over here.
Get over here, Becky with the good hair.
Yeah.
Yes, queen.
Yeah, man, crazy how life is.
Yeah, that's one of those things where I just don't, when you just don't know what to say because you haven't been through it.
Okay.
Do you have things that are don't fucking say this to me?
There is not things that aren't don't say this to me, but I will say, and maybe this is going to be unpopular opinion.
No,
so there's going to people are going to be like, what?
It's a hot take. I like it.
There are very, I don't think there, I was very grateful. There's a lot of people that reached out. It wasn't too long after high school this occurred. So I had a lot of people just reach out to me. The only thing that I was really weird, it's, honestly, I was grateful for that, but I was going through so much at the time that it wasn't
you're still trying to process it.
Yeah, you're still processing it. And that is not even the main focal point. But one thing that I noticed, but it wasn't a big deal to me, but I guess it kind of irks me just in general. When you're close to high school, you still get the ripple effects of people still being close groups, still kind of hanging out over summer or something. People still go back to their hometown. I think sometimes maybe it wasn't as genuine, because there was such a kind of
cliquey.
And such, the dust was not settled that this had occurred, that I don't know, people I don't know, maybe I think of it in a weird way, but people that I've never spoken to, let's say 3 grades below me or something. Let's just be a little bit dramatic that, but they were sharing it on their social media, or I had just a couple, I don't remember their names, but I just it was weird.
This is weird.
I don't know if it was genuine. You know what I mean? So I was just
putting up a front,
or maybe it was an opportunity. An opportunity for them to be involved in some way.
Yeah.
But
it's still that's not.
That's what I'm saying.
I feel like social media has had a weird role in deaths and stuff.
I don't know if people feel like that, but there are people who are really concerned and are advocates for specific things. Sure. But I also think there's jumping on the bandwagon. And not that like my mom's death was the biggest, but like in such a close-knit community, like, you know, you just kind of like,
yeah,
you know, like people want to, I don't know. They want to feel included in some way, and I guess like that's
and social media makes that so accessible.
Yeah. So it was kind of awkward. That's unpopular opinion.
No,
I do like sometimes I was like, ugh.
I think that there should be like some sort of like I don't know, like process or like socially accepted thing for social media, and probably like as time goes on that'll figure itself out.
I don't know. I guess I didn't think of it that way. I was so focused on the shit that was happening.
Yeah.
That stuff just was in the back of my mind. It wasn't until after it was like, I don't know why I would see something and it just didn't, I don't know. It didn't feel exactly right. So there's nothing, I don't know. You know, I think, man, all that stuff is just so personal. I think it's just going to depend on how the person perceives it, but I wouldn't take any of that stuff personal. As well as another thing that I would say is really useful is to not really be comparative, because when you do experience loss, something that I know most people will experience, especially when it's a family member, you'll hear other people complain about like maybe their mom and stuff. Just I know that when I was like not super mature, okay, obviously I'm dramatic, y'all, but when I was younger and I was still hurt, I would process that completely differently than I do now, because I yearned for one so bad, you know. I yearned for, I was still grieving, so in my process of grieving, when people would complain, I'm like, how can you complain? You have the greatest gift. Not everybody has this gift. But something that was probably, this will be useful to people who, because everybody experiences this, is that it's not a comparative thing, and that everybody at one point is going to have to experience some form of loss, and that they may not realize it then. And I would never wish that pain on anybody. Everybody goes through it, and maybe it won't be the same kind of pain as me, but I don't wish that upon anybody, that they lose something and they have to go through that pain. So,
it's just everybody is on a different journey.
Yeah,
like
exactly. Well, and they're gonna have to experience it at some point in their life. It's not for me to determine, like, in that moment, like, oh, you're so ungrateful. It's like, no, this is their journey. It's not me.
Yeah.
And I don't need to be so damn, like, you know, even though it's my grieving and that's like a defense mechanism from my hurt, it's just, I'm like, this isn't helping anybody, Stevie. Yeah. Like, you kind of sound like an a-hole.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's like, don't be too hard on yourself for that, because I feel like it's like, that's a natural instinct, you know, of like, you have such this like person-sized hole that like there's nothing that you can do. And when you hear someone literally like taking advantage of that thing that they have, that like now you don't have anymore, like I feel like that's just a natural human instinct to be like, oh, fuck you.
Yes, you.
You motherfucker. You. Like, let's not, okay?
Okay.
Let's not. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I'm sure it gets, like, has gotten easier with time to, like,
I still cry like a little baby.
No, not, like, the whole thing, but, like, to hear somebody else complaining.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm okay
like,
with it now.
You're like, all right, I'm there. I've got this.
Yeah,
was a
I'm
thing
like, man,
for
they haven't experienced it yet, too, either. I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
You know?
You're like, you're right.
Well, no, well, I'm not like, get your big girl pants, get your big boy pants on. I'm not like that at all. I'm just like, man, I'm just like, okay, that's where they're at. That's where they're at, you know, that's nothing.
I'm at a different place.
Non-judgment. I'm just listening without my input. And
perfect.
Yeah.
The perfect way to be.
Perfect.
If there were a perfect way to be, which there isn't.
Oh, well, that.
Okay. There totally isn't. You want to get into this article?
Yeah, y'all. So we pulled up an article, and
it's from helpguide.org.
Yeah, so it has a .org, so we're like, this is so official.
Which I've heard recently that, like, now anybody can get a .org, so, like...
Oh.
But this one looks legit.
Guys, so I'm telling you.
We're going to trust this one.
Yeah, for
Until
sure.
we read some shit that we're like, whoa, never mind.
Yeah. Oh, well then we'll be like, cut.
I think it's all right.
Cut.
So it defines grief by saying that grief is a natural response to loss. It's the emotional suffering you feel when something or someone you love is taken away. which I think sums it up. It gives some examples of grief: divorce or relationship breakup, loss of health, losing a job, loss of financial stability, a miscarriage, retirement, death of a pet, loss of a cherished dream, a loved one's serious illness, loss of friendship, loss of safety after a trauma, selling the family home. And I feel like they didn't even cover like loss of a parent or loss of a friend. Like, I mean, I guess it did friendship, but like loss of a person is a big one too.
Human.
Yeah,
just a human.
Loss of
Brooke,
another
you're offended
human.
by the article.
I'm like, well, where's
Brooke,
number 13?
We said this was a repeatable
like, well,
site. Well, they didn't even put this.
Okay. So like, if you want to rewrite, holler at me. I got you. Okay, so this is kind of what I was saying. Like that they've figured out recently that it's grieving is a highly individual experience. There's no right or wrong way to grieve. How you grieve depends on many factors, including your personality and coping style, your life experience, your faith, and how significant the loss was to you. Inevitably, the grieving process takes time. Healing happens gradually. It can't be forced or hurried, and there is no normal timetable for grieving. Which, you know, I think is accurate because we're all different. Just like there's no like diet that works for everybody. Like we're just all so different. There's no way that like one exact path can work for everybody.
Yeah. Our number one thing that we can't do is just go drink.
No,
like we can't do that. We're not. No.
I tried for a hot minute. Like this should be fine, I think.
Yeah, we're like, this is great. And then we're like, no, obviously I can't control myself.
This is no longer great.
Yeah.
This has turned from great to bad quickly. Very quickly.
We're the only ones. Everybody else thinks they're a good time. But we're like,
you're so fun when you're
so fun. You're so great. And you're like, no, but I'm having an internal battle sometimes. I need to go to bed, okay?
Get me out of here.
Yeah.
Ooh, these will be good. Like, okay.
Ooh, y'all. Okay. Yes.
Did you go through any of these?
Guys.
We've got myths and facts about
all right,
grief and
and
grieving.
we're gonna break it down.
Let's hear it, girl.
Myth. The pain will go away faster if you just ignore it.
Just ignore it. Like, just ignore it and you'll be fine.
Oh, for sure. Wrong.
No.
Wee.
Did you ever, like, have any moment where, like, do you think that's what it was when you went back to Topgolf, or did you just feel like you had to work? Because I'm sure they would have given you time off.
Oh, yeah. They were more than welcome to give me time off. I just think, first off, I was really young when this happened, so... I mean, honestly, I didn't even plan the funeral because it didn't even occur to me that you had to plan a funeral,
You're like, what?
and get all this stuff. No, it literally, like, luckily I have, my older sisters who stepped in for those, as well as my, uncle.
Okay. Yeah, you're in no way prepared for that when you're 19 years old.
Ignoring it,
do you think...
I don't think I was ignoring it. I just didn't think I had the full comprehension of what it fully meant, and the older I get, I know just how deeply, even more so, it is. Yeah, because people call their parents all the time, man. But no, I wasn't trying to ignore it. I just I don't know, I don't even know how to explain it. I don't, like... I was just there, and I was just trying to figure it out. There's not even like ignore it. I know that. Nah, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say I know that one of my sisters tried to, but... Oh, okay. It just... Man, all that stuff catches up with you. Yeah. And it's a process.
Yeah, for sure. That's what this says. The fact is, trying to ignore your pain or keep it from surfacing will only make it worse in the long run. Which is true.
Yeah, but man. Hold on to those that's why I can't... if I would have drank around that time, I'd be like crying.
Yeah, hell yeah,
I'd be crying.
Of course.
And you know what? There's like different levels of like just... people being sad. It'd be like that sadness, it would be overwhelmed everybody, because it's just, that's something else, man. When you witness some real ish, man, it just hits you in the face. You know?
Oh, hey, girl.
She's not crying over her lost toothbrush, okay? No. All right, do you want to introduce the second myth?
Yeah. This one kind of goes in line with that. It's important to be strong in the face of loss.
What do you think about that?
I think that that's so legit. Like, there's this thing that I mean, I think it's legit bullshit. Is what I mean.
You think it? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I was like, oh, you agree?
Wait, oh, you agree?
Well, I was trying to reframe it. Yeah, I was like, huh. Wonder how she sees that.
But I think that's like ingrained in us, like from when we're little, is like just be strong, or like it's like sometimes like in movies or in stories or whatever. And I think it's gotten a lot better, like even from like when we were little. But I feel like early on it was like this. Probably especially for boys, like be strong, don't cry, like you have to be the strong one, that kind of thing. And I think I have a little bit of that. Like when my grandparents died, I was older. I was like 24, 20. No, I was 22 and 24. And it was like this, I remember feeling like, okay, I have to be like, my mom is very upset. They were her parents. And like my aunts are very upset. And like, I have to be like strong for them, like I have to be this person, but it's like I think that can happen often, but like it's your loss too, and like you don't have to be strong, you don't have to put on this like face for other people or to try to like ignore it in another way. You can feel your emotions, and you can feel sad, and you can tell people you feel sad, and it's okay.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what is being strong? I mean, I don't know. Some people think crying strong. Some people
I know.
Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
You know, they're like, people that are emotionally numb, you know, that's really strong. You know, they can just live life and like, not dealing with their emotions.
Drink into an abyss. And
okay.
That's like, I had a little bit of that because I was so emotional as a kid. And I think that that's probably why this resonates with me, is like, I got a lot of messaging that was like, you can't be as emotional as you are. And like, so I think I kind of do like disassociate from, not as bad now, but like from what I perceive to be like negative feelings. Like I'm like, you can't feel those. Like you better shut those off. You better feel
those are
nothing.
So weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Instead,
you're like, that's not me, but it's like totally normal to feel what people identify as negative emotions, like irritation.
Yeah, or crying. Like I cried all the damn time when I was little, and I
cry all the time now.
Me too. Yeah. I cried like I realized even like see, this goes back to like anyway, not ignoring it, but like after the breakup, like I was of course crying, and I like cried on the way home, and then of course, I was driving home to like knowing Allison was going to be there, and I like cried in my car. I took like a longer route home so I could cry longer, and then I like cleaned my face up in my car and went in and like talked to Allison about it, like as if I was fine, like as if I was strong, as if this, and then I shut myself in my room and I cried. And I was like, you've got problems, like you need to be able to open up to people, like it's okay to be sad. But it was like, it feels almost like I'm like, okay, this is my burden to bear. But there's a lot of judgment. I know this from listening to My Favorite Murder. Like there's people judge people about grief like pretty harshly. Really?
Oh, well then I don't know, man. I missed that memo, and I didn't, honestly.
You didn't get judged. That's good.
I could care less. I mean, like, what, honestly, if, I'm just surprised. I've never heard that. I've really never heard that. I don't know.
Really? So this next one says, so it's like, it's important to be strong. Like, this one's saying, like, crying doesn't mean you're weak. And then the next myth is, if you don't cry, it means you aren't sorry about the loss. Like,
there's a load of bullshit.
Exactly. So there's, like, these things where there's multiple messages out in the world of, like, be strong, don't cry. But then it's like, if you don't cry, then it's like you didn't care about it at all.
Some people just have a hard time crying.
Yeah.
Sometimes that, like, I feel like that's a very vulnerable state to just even allow. And if you have a 9-to-5 business job, I don't know if you have a lot of time to just be in tune with your emotions. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's not like the environment you want for those emotions to thrive, okay?
And outside of like those external things, like we were saying, like people just grieve differently. Like it just depends on your personality, your experience, like so don't you be worrying about your grieving process.
Yeah, I can't believe
you're doing all right.
I have never. Okay, really? You've heard people judge people about grieving?
Yeah, mostly in like, it's from My Favorite Murders, like where I've heard most of it. So it's mostly about like murder cases where like,
well, when they're like convicting somebody, they have to judge.
This family didn't or like this mom didn't cry when she was giving her statement about this.
Exactly.
And like, what does that mean? And
dude,
like,
it's uncomfortable.
It. Yeah.
I mean, you're in a room full of randos. Nobody wants to be like, yeah, I just, I don't know. I think that's really weird.
Yeah, people totally do that.
You know, there's a lot of people that don't like crying in front of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I went to the bathroom stall when I was in high school by myself. I like, let it out, girl. And then I would be like,
be all right.
Yeah.
You go and be all right.
That's it.
Uh-oh. Sorry. Don't mind me. Yeah. So these myths or whatever, we don't need to go into those.
Yeah. But that's about...
Yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up,
right? Yeah, for sure. And if any of y'all want to reach out to Brooke, not because you're trying to go on a little datey date. I know what you're thinking there.
Recently single.
Yeah, you gotta back it up.
But like not ready to mingle, so.
Not back it up in a good way.
Okay. Wait, why are they reaching out to me? Randall, what do you want?
I don't know if they can relate to your situation.
Yeah.
I was going to throw mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, either or. I was going to throw myself out there, but then it just dangling it was just lingering, and I just thought it was really funny.
I like it.
Okay. I don't know why it's so funny to me. Okay, y'all hit us up. This is the Help podcast.
Wait. Are you saying like the
I'm
Gmail?
trying to say goodbye.
Oh.
I just
you
can't.
Were like, send us an email at like thisisthehelppodcast.com.gov.gmail.net.
No, I was trying to end it, but at the same time, just throw in our introduction.
Okay,
I was saying, we're the Help podcast, and then...
It's full circle. We're wrapping it up.
Sunshine and rainbows, everybody. Y'all guys hit us up if y'all need anybody to talk to.
You need, that. Oh no, I'm doing it again. Where I just keep saying stuff.
All right, y'all. We're just gonna end it. Y'all guys have a good one.
Okay, peace out. Bye. Love you. Stop talking.
Bye.
Okay, thanks for listening to us, guys.
Yes. If you want to give a shout out or just reach us.
Or send in like a topic you want us to bullshit on.
Yeah. Our email is helpthepodcast@gmail.com. And our Instagram is...
It is at The Help Podcast.
At The Help Podcast.
And you can search Facebook, The Help Podcast. We're on there as well. And you can find all of our episodes on any major podcasting platform.
Yes.
iTunes, Stitcher.
Or if you get confused, just email us. We'll help you.
We'll send you the link, girl. It's fine.
Okay, cool.
Thanks, guys.
Y'all have a good one.